Trading at Schwab is now powered by Ameritrade, giving you even more specialized support than ever before. Like access to the trade desk, our team of passionate traders ready to tackle anything from the most complex trading questions to a simple strategy gut check. Need assistance? No problem. Get 24/7 professional answers and live help, and access support by phone, email, and in-platform chat. That's how Schwab is here for you, to help you trade brilliantly. Learn more at schwab.com/trading.
When you're separating from the military, no one tells you how hard it can be to get your civilian life up to speed. But with VA benefits, it doesn't have to be. From the VA home loan requiring no down payment, to the GI Bill covering tuition, books, and cost of living, to VA healthcare offering top-ranked, low-cost care designed specifically for veterans. All the support you need is at VA. I'm here telling every veteran because I wish someone had told me, get what you earned. Visit choose.va.gov.
Not all veterans are eligible for the type or amount of benefits mentioned here.
Lowe's knows how to help you save. This July 4th, get up to 40% off select Maytag laundry appliances. Plus, get an additional 10% off when you buy 2 or 3 select major appliances. And when you buy 4 or more, you'll save an additional 20%. Find the right appliances and features that fit your home's unique needs and style. Shop Maytag 4th of July deals at Lowe's. Valid through 7/9. See Lowe's.com for details. Savings vary based on purchase amount. Selection varies by location.
Stop right there. Yeah, you. If you like all things entertainment, current events, or Hollywood, then look no further. Creator to Creators, hosted by director Meosha of Horror Noir, interviews filmmakers and creatives from around the world. Join in on the fun, guest celebrities, and informative information to have as a creator. Hit subscribe and stay connected to Creator to Creators.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Creators today. Today, we have a special guest.
Curtis Hudson.
Ray Hudson.
Welcome.
Thank you.
And that's from the group Pure Energy, musical band Pure Energy.
Yes.
Yes, I'm super excited to talk to you. Tell me, first of all, I just got to pay homage to all that you guys have done for music and the culture. I mean, timeless music and, being in this business for so long and, the longevity of it all. Thank you.
Thank you. We appreciate you.
Definitely. But I love going back to the beginning, and I always say the beginning kind of charts our trajectory of where we're going to be heading in life. Tell me a little bit about, your childhood, and kind of like growing up and then finding, your way into music.
Well, Ray and I are brothers, and we grew up and was raised in a small town in Louisiana called Mansfield. And we grew up around music. All our relatives was musicians, singers, in church mostly. We have a cousin of ours who was a famous singer named O.C. Smith, who had out a real popular song back in the late 60s, I think. Called God Didn't Make Little Green Apples.
Right.
it was a million seller, but he was out of town all the time, so we didn't get a chance to see him. He would come through every once in a while, but we always hear these stories of him. So we come from a musical background.
I love that.
Yeah, grew up playing music, started out playing music when we were very young, and we just found the love and the passion for playing and doing music. So we continued that all through high school and, so forth.
I love that. I think that's beautiful that you just basically knew what you wanted to do at an early age. And I think a lot of people don't know that. They're still trying to figure out what their purpose is or what they're trying to do in life. I think that's awesome.
Yes.
Yeah. We
when I first heard
we always did.
Smokey Robinson, some of his early songs in the 60s, because Ray and I, we was born in the 50s, so that's how old we are. And I first heard the Motown stuff. I just knew it was something about writing songs or something I wanted to do in music.
Yeah, I think that's brilliant. Let's talk about your new song, Midnight Magic. Um, I love this song. It felt like a fresh, like modern, like I don't know, it just felt like old school, but also modern at the same time. And I felt like this, like I felt like even though I wasn't born in the time of like Soul Train, I just felt like I wish I like that. That felt like that vibe. Like we're going down and like dance down this, like just have a good time. Tell me a little bit about the process of making that and Midnight Magic, like the title, like how did you guys come up with that?
Wow, you got it. I mean,
Yep.
when what you just said, you got everything we were trying to
Exactly. Exactly.
get people to feel in that song. You got it perfectly. Well, Midnight Magic was written, the lyrics and the title came from Lisa Stevens Crowder, the lead vocalist.
Lead vocalist, right?
And she, when we was playing a lot of the nightclubs, it seemed like people really started to party after 12. So she came up with the idea of midnight. The magic happens at midnight. So I just put some music to it, and Ray and I cut the tracks, and made it fun. That's what we always try to do, music that made people feel better, uplift them in some kind of way.
Oh yeah, I
Right.
think I love that because we're living in such a weird, crazy time, and I think people need music to get away, like escape the problems
Exactly.
that's going on in the world. Like so, this is it. I love it.
Thank you. Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
I'm
we
sorry.
was
I don't know if you was aware that we also did Holiday for Madonna, which was Madonna's first major hit song, and it kind of
right.
launched Madonna's career to I don't know if you're familiar with that song Holiday, but
Yes.
it has the same feeling, and that was the message in Holiday, was to make people feel better, lift. I got the idea from watching the television. The news was on, and people.
Lowe's knows how to help you save. This July 4th, get up to 40% off select Maytag laundry appliances. Plus, get an additional 10% off when you buy 2 or 3 select major appliances. And when you buy 4 or more, you'll save an additional 20%. Find the right appliances and features that fit your home's unique needs and style. Shop Maytag 4th of July deals at Lowe's. Valid through 7/9. See Lowe's.com for details. Savings vary based on purchase amount. Selection varies by location.
Everything was so depressed, so I just came up with a song like, if we could take one day out of life and just everybody just party and feel better, that would be a great
Relax.
thing.
Right.
And that's how Holiday came about.
Yeah, I was actually going to ask you about that. I mean, you guys
I'm
were.
sorry, I didn't mean to jump the gun.
No, I love it. I found out that was very interesting, and the fact, I mean, all the people that you've like between all of you who you've worked with and collaborate with, it's pretty amazing. List of people like wow.
Right.
But the Madonna story, like, and then the fact that you wrote it and then you guys wanted to go ahead and like try to take it yourself, but then the record label said no, but then it worked for Madonna and it was a hit for her. Do you feel like the music industry is changing and or has changed a lot for the better now, even now, like from what it was then to what it is now?
Well, I will say that it has changed somewhat. I guess that's just keeping up with the time, so to speak, and the type of music that people is choosing to put out has a lot to do with it too. Our group tried to stay loyal to what our sound was back even in the 80s and so forth. We made sure that we wanted to keep our sound even here in 2023 with Midnight Magic. All real instruments, horns, and the whole 9 yards of what they used to do back in the day, the old school band. So we just decided to just say, let's just put this out because we love what we're doing. And we hope people will like it and stay true to ourselves and to our sound. So that's what we tried to do. And I think we accomplished that.
Yeah, and I think in some other ways this change is how music is distributed and put out. You can pretty much put out your own music without record labels, and in a lot of ways that's good because you get music that you wouldn't normally hear. In some ways, it's not so good because you have so much music out there. I think people sometimes can't even decide what to listen to.
Mm-hmm.
It was more of a control thing early on in the 60s and 70s. So only the best music, if I could actually say that, I'm just, for lack of a better word, but you got Marvin Gaye, James Brown. I mean, to get a hit record back then, you had to really come with something extra to even get
Right.
in the door, but now you can put out music and it just go without even having a lot of quality lyrical content. It can just be a little vibe or a drum groove and
Right.
you get a
Right.
hit. So much have changed in that essence. So you can get more music out there, but I think sometimes the quality of the music is not quite there.
Right. Right.
I absolutely agree. I think that I think it's super saturated, and I mean, even now, like you said, the music. I mean, you could be in your basement and put a song out on Spotify, and then it blows up, and you're like,
Exactly. Yes.
"Whoa!"
It's like, what was that done?
Yeah, it's so different now. I mean, we came through the era where you had to be good,
Hmm.
not just good, you had to be like great almost because the competition was, and I don't think a lot of the young people really understand that
Hmm.
because like in New York, New Jersey, Chicago, every major city, you had dozens and dozens of bands that was great. So your
Right.
competition was high level. Singers could sing. So if you're going to get on stage and really kill, somebody else could come up there and really wipe you out. So you had that kind of competition. Now I think the people don't focus so much on the talent and the development of your skills. They just focus on how to market themselves. So they're able to come up with things that maybe could sell through their personality or the way they
Hmm.
dress or whatever. And
Now,
quality, the talent of it, they don't spend time on that stuff. So
Yeah.
it's kind of missing to me.
but we hoping. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
No, but like we are hoping that some way that we can kind of like either get back into some of the I want to say good music. All music is good, but the sounds of what music used to be back in the 80s or 70s or whatever, and it's going to take a little while because everything is like turned around now. But I think there's a few people that's starting to trying to make that move back
Yeah.
toward original R&B music and so forth, where that is everything is not synthesized or everything is not sampled and all of that kind of stuff. So we hope that it will continue to get back because I think a lot of people do enjoy the old school music. It's just have to put a new twist on it, and that's one of the reasons why we brought Curtis and Lisa's son Eric Hudson in to work with us on Midnight Magic. That's their son. Curt, you can speak more about Eric.
Yeah, but I want to say before I go to there's a lot of good music
Hmm.
out there. Like some great artists. I see them sometimes just on social media here. They don't have the backing. They might not have the financial backing to get their music to the forefront. But there are some great artists that I'm hearing, but it's sort of like bubbling underground. But to Raymond's point of us working with our son Eric Hudson, he's a producer. They did Flashing Lights for Kanye West.
Nice.
He worked with, I mean, everybody in the industry. So
Pretty much.
he came in and kind of put the modern vibe on an 80s song because Midnight Magic was actually written back in the 80s. And we didn't change anything. We kept the same groove. Everything was there.
Wow.
He was like, Dad, don't change it. I'm just gonna put some sweetening on it and just give it the sonics of today. But don't change any of your arrangement, your vocals. So we didn't change anything about the song. Uh,
Wow.
he was able to bring that modern. That's why you say it sounds like old school, but it sounds modern. That was his element there.
Wow. Wow. It's a
Right.
family affair. I love that. I
Oh
love
yeah,
That's beautiful. I mean, it's so good. It's so good. And, I can see it played, even when I was listening to it, I could even say it played in movies, like as like,
Wow.
I can see that too. Like I was
That's
like,
That's
great.
wow, it
very
sounds
good
really good.
insight there. You got
That's
some
great.
good insight because we've heard that from several other people
Right.
in the industry.
Right.
This would be great for movie or TV or whatever. So hopefully,
Yeah.
hopefully people
Hopefully.
get into it and it'll, just keep going out. We just want to put
Well, we
great music
good
out.
music. Right. And so far, the song has been out now just a little bit over 2 weeks. And the feedback has been really, really great so far. And I think the last time I checked, it's on the emerging 100 charts at number 5. So,
Wow.
we happy about that. And we just hope it continue to grow. That's what we like to do for it, to continue to grow. And I think the more people who listen to it seems to like it. So that's a positive for us. So it helps us, keep going forward.
Yeah, and even if the song doesn't be like a mega hit or whatever, and it expires, some other young artists hear that sound and they're like, wow, I like this vibe. I'm do something like that. You get other artists, and then you kind of like get more and more music like Midnight Magic being produced. So even if it accomplished that, that's a great thing.
Absolutely. And
Right.
it will. And it will. Definitely. I was gonna say also, I appreciate the visuals as well. I mean, I have a background in film, so when I saw the music video, I really I loved how you guys shot that. It was so fun, and all the people dancing and just you guys on stage and getting down. I love it was a very fun, like visually appealing video. So kudos to
And
you
that
guys.
Thank you.
was to a great young director named Bart. That's what he
Right.
goes, B-A-R-T. That's all his vision.
Nice.
He came up
Right.
with that. Very creative young man. Very creative young man.
Love that. So I love asking this question, and there's no wrong answer. But the 3 levels of influence: money, power, and respect. And if you could choose one of those things, which one would you choose and why?
For me, respect.
Yeah, I would say respect also.
I think, I think if whatever you're doing, whether it's music or whatever, I think it's more important to be respected for what you're doing, and people kind of like give you your just due if you're doing it, with on a professional level. Actually, that is. So for me, I think I'd rather have the respect first.
And the other
Money is
two,
always good.
yeah, the other one was money and power. It was it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
see,
respect. Yes.
money comes and goes, and power, to me, there's no such thing as that. It's only if you could, exercise it over someone. It's only when you have power. So I don't even look at to control anybody or have power to do anything besides just make great music. So I think if people respect, people hear honesty in music.
Hmm.
Right.
I always felt that. So if you write a lyric and you're really writing it from a good place and you're trying to motivate someone, inform someone, because that's what music to me is about. It's informing people, it's making people feel better,
Happy. And all of that.
that's the main focus of music. It's a lot deeper than the commercial things that we're doing. It goes back to ancient times where music had a purpose. So
Hmm.
it's a form of communicating on a high level, and we can choose to make it, trashy or whatever, trendy or whatever. We can take it and really motivate and change the world. That's the only thing. And I try not to get too political or whatever.
It's okay. You can.
Sometimes people say
Yeah.
stay away from, but that the power, if you mentioned back to that word power, that a lot of the young people have and the influence, they have millions and millions and millions of viewers and followers.
Hmm.
If they put a message out that could change the world, imagine how powerful that would be.
Yeah.
So I think when you come to power, that would be powerful if a message went out that really changed things in the world.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to see artists come along today that have 50 million followers, but put out a message that really make a difference and make every young person stop and think about, wow, what am I doing with my life?
Love that. Do you think that any artist now that you think like you can look at, whether it's a female or male, that is relatively, I guess, is putting out that message for young people? Is there any artists out there you can name?
Maybe I can't really think on this because artists are staying away from politics, or they stand away from things that make people even think. They just want to put out music they think will sell. So I think because of the record labels or what they are doing now, I think artists are afraid to do that.
Yeah, that's true.
But I think there's a lot of positive music also. I mean, there's a lot of positive music coming from a lot of good people. I just think it has to be, put on a larger scale, and people can catch on a little bit more. So, but there are some positive songs that out there that people are trying to do to make people think, not just party and have a good time, but that's something to think about. So it is, but it's got to continue. It's got to continue.
Absolutely. What, I know that we're out of the pandemic now and everybody's kind of back to somewhat normalcy. Was, now that everything is, I guess for me, I was very not really motivated during that time. And I was like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? For me, it's I don't want to ever experience that again. I would not. I'm so glad that we're past that. But how do you guys what makes you guys, keep going even during rough times, times where you're not really sure, you're not motivated? What keeps you guys going?
Well, for me,
I think. Go ahead, Kurt.
I stay locked up in my studio. That's what I do all the time. Whether it's whatever's going on, I stay in my studio creating. That's my therapy for myself.
Nice.
Right, and we was all doing the same. The pandemic, I agree with you. I hope we never have to face anything close to that ever again. But like I said, that was months and months. Curtis and I, we brothers, we didn't see each other. We talked to each other every day, but everybody was just let's just chill out, let's stay home, and let's just hope this stuff pass by. But we was constantly doing music, communicating, music wise and so forth. And I think when we was trying to choose the Midnight Magic for the first release, during the pandemic, we were just sending each other some of the songs that we had written in the past. And we spent months on that, just trying to figure out, okay, if we're gonna do this, let's start listening to some of the songs in our vault to see what would be the first release. And we was doing all that during the pandemic and so forth. So we were still doing music.
That's awesome.
We were still doing music. Just couldn't go into the studio like we used to. So it was good. I think Curtis can remember, we did that was what was that called? The story of the song, the story behind the songs, Kurt?
Oh yeah, that was a documentary about Madonna
documentary
that was done from
and that was doing
a British production company.
Yeah, that was doing the pandemic, and it was done. They sent cameras and everything out during the pandemic because it was doing this documentary on Madonna, and we was a part of it.
Nice.
And it was the camera people, everybody came and dropped. We were okay, put it at the door, set it up, and all about it. It was
supposed to be done in a big studio, the way they do documentaries, but the pandemic hit all of a sudden and they put all these restrictions. So they wanted to continue with the documentary. So you have to sign all these forms about COVID, and all these consent forms. Then they sent a film crew and delivered the stuff and everything all wiped off. I mean, it was crazy.
Yeah.
And they remotely did everything remotely. So
Wow.
Right.
thanks to technology. But when you look at the documentary, it was like we was actually there with a film crew and everything. But I think Raymond's wife was working the camera and my wife was working my camera. So it was
Sure
crazy,
was.
the technology they have now. But yeah, the pandemic was really it just threw everybody for a loop. But I just created, and hopefully some of the music that I have that I want to really give to the world, that I'll be able to give some of that music, because I wrote music, that's more motivating message music.
Nice.
And we didn't put, we're not putting any of that out right now. We're trying to just test the water and see. But I would love to get some of that music out that I think will motivate the world, might influence some young people to just think twice about some of the decisions that they're making.
100%.
Right.
100%. Do you feel like you guys have, I mean, you hear this question, I mean, at least I hear this question a lot, but and I like to ask this to everyone, and I'm sure it's different for everyone, but do you feel like you guys found your purpose in life?
Oh yeah, I know for a fact I did a long time ago.
I love that. I love
Right.
that.
Exactly. Yeah.
A
That's
long time
beautiful.
ago, I knew there's two things happened to me in my life, and that was when I was about 12, 13 years old. I was playing with a gospel group. I just had started learning to play the guitar, and this older gentleman that lived in my neighborhood said, I want you to come play with us. And I was so afraid. I'm like, no, I'm not good enough to play with anybody. It was a gospel group. And he was like, so demanding, come on, no, you could do it, and encouraging. So I went to rehearsal that Wednesday, and I just thought I was just going to see what I could do. That Sunday they had a concert, and he was like, you're gonna play Sunday? I'm like, no way. so they encouraged me and said, oh, it'll be fine. And I was shaking. My leg was shaking, so I couldn't even stop shaking for playing. So once I hit the first note on the guitar, and I saw my auntie was sitting in the audience, and she smiled at me and said, "That's my nephew." Something came over me where everything just sort of like relaxed, and I started playing, and that was it. I felt that feeling, and the same thing happened when I was about maybe 16, when I started on nightclubs. I played in my first nightclub. I was again afraid to be on stage and all these people. And when I heard that one chord that the band hit, I just knew that that's what I was going to do the rest of my life.
I love that.
Right.
That's
and Curtis
beautiful.
and I, we started out, we played, like in our school days and high school and stuff, we played gospel music for all through high school.
I love that.
We that's who we were, born down in the South, and our hometown gospel music was very popular. And we just started playing gospel music with different churches and so forth. And we did it for years and years and years. So we happy about that.
Actually, I was playing gospel music and what they call then the devil's music. So
that's what some called it.
I was doing both, So I would get reprimanded by church people and say, "You need to stop playing that devil music." I said, "Well, the devil music is helping putting food on the table for my mom. We got 8 kids in my family, so putting some food on the table. So maybe God want me to make that money."
Oh my goodness,
So I went
hilarious.
through all that. I was playing both sides of it. What they say, you straddle the fence. You
Right.
You go to the nightclubs on Saturday, then you go to the church on Sunday.
Play at church on Sunday.
But I felt I wasn't doing anything wrong. I was playing. They both was music to me, and just the lyrics changed. One thing is talking about having a good time, or maybe talking about loving a woman, and the other one is just talking about God and and Jesus. Right.
Yeah.
So I just felt the music was the same to me. I didn't feel any different, but I got reprimanded for a long time.
We was young. We was in high school and so forth. So we was young.
Yeah.
Thinking like that.
I'm working on my book one of these days.
I can't wait to read it. Well, which brings me to my next question. So, you get to your work is done on earth, you get to the pearly gates of heaven and you meet God. What do you guys want God to say about the things you've done?
I would like for God to say, well done for me. I would just like for him to say, well, which means he's happy with what I've tried to accomplish while I'm here and how much I gave back, you know, myself of everything that I tried to do. And that's rewarding for me, because none of us are perfect, but you have to try to make an effort to do good as much as you can. So I would hope that he would say, well done.
Love that.
Yeah, the same with me. And I think I can look God in the face and say that the talents and gifts you gave me, I used it to the best of my ability, and I use it for good purposes. I didn't use it maliciously. I wasn't greedy with it, so I think I could be comfortable with saying that every song I write, it comes from a good place.
Yeah, I love that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
I have one last question, and that's it. So for those that are listening, like young people, whether anyone that wants to get into music, what advice would you give? And we have literally 7 minutes left, but what advice would you give to them?
Real quick, Ray, go.
Stay true to your craft, work hard at your craft, and you should be okay. You have to be honest with what you really want your music to be. So I think that's the main thing that people need to do.
Well, I'm going to say first, love what you're doing, because you never know which direction it's going to go. It's going to be ups and downs. So you have to love it to continue if you have disappointments and failures.
I love that. That's beautiful. Thank you so much. Thank you
before
so
we
much.
go, I just wanted the audience to know that Lisa Stevens Crowder, our lead singer, is under the weather and she's not here, but hopefully people is enjoying her great vocals on Midnight Magic.
Right. And thank you for loving Midnight Magic. Thank you.
Yes, thank you for having us. It's a pleasure. And seeing you is actually rounds it off.
Exactly.
Yay. Well, thank you so much for making, timeless music and, something for everyone. So thank you guys. Thank you. And I hope you're the vocalist, she feels better. And again, come back anytime.
Oh, thank you. Anytime you want us, we're happy. Thank you so much.
Yeah, anytime. Let us know.
All right.
Thank you. All right.
And thank you all for listening. And always remember to live, love, laugh. We'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.